like the post, like in the Tiger King stuff. I never bothered watching the second one, anything after that, 'cause I didn't care. I just watched it just because it was something to watch during the pandemic. After that,
it was pretty hilarious too.
It was funny, but
a lot of memes came out of it.
Like, oh yeah, I mean you get something.
We're never going to financially recover from this.
My favorite one is somebody has a side-by-side picture of Tiger King and Steve Irwin.
Oh god!
And it said, "Convince me that Tiger King is not Steve Irwin's Wario."
Boom boom.
Finally decorating a little bit.
I'm starting to decorate. I've been forgetting to bring stuff in, and today I was like, I can't forget it.
All right, might as well get it started.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So that's my camera right here. Your camera's over here. We usually have different camera angles, but you're like, I'm trying something different because I have this one pointed at you. But it's just weird when it's like a camera like right here.
Yeah.
Like
you're gonna.
Yeah. It's all in everybody's face.
For now, it's just everybody has their own camera.
Perfect.
So we got Mike in the house.
Yes.
I don't want to butcher your last name, Giulivo.
Giulivo. Yeah. It's Italian, but I'm not Italian.
It's not Italian.
It's Italian, but I'm not Italian.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But you can't say Giulivo.
Giulivo.
There you go. There you go. You gotta do that. You gotta do that.
Giulivo. Yes.
Thank you for doing that for me.
Yeah, because if we do it, people are gonna think we're Italian. We, darker a little bit.
I mean, you have a little lighter skin. Maybe I could pass.
I'm way too white to be Italian. I should be like golden.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm actually German, which is ironic. So it's like
a German with an Italian name.
Yeah.
Probably
kind of
one of those like
kind of conflicts a little.
Well, like
you go down, you go in a German accent.
I don't even know how to do that.
I don't know.
Is there a in there like a?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't know. Russian accents are like really specific, apparently. From my understanding, it's like very, like you can if somebody's speaking Russian or like speaking Russian in a movie, like you can tell like the Russians like it's that
they like roll their R's.
Yeah, there's like they're doing it wrong,
Yeah,
wrong. I'm trying to do it.
Came out for it.
I think Germans are very just strict. They're kind of like to the point. I think that's kind of how the.
I mean, everything sounds like it's
like nine.
Yeah. Everything sounds like you're getting yelled at, but they're just saying good morning.
Like, I'm sorry.
Good morning. Why are you mad? It's like I asked for the coffee. Like I don't know what you want me to say.
Wait, do we want coffee now? Give me coffee.
Well, some vodka, no?
In Soviet Russia.
In Soviet.
Car drives you. So, Mike, I've known you since elementary school. Bowers Spec.
Yeah, that was the glory days.
Yeah, and it was. I remember we knew each other back then, and I don't know why. I always remember us talking by like a water fountain. I don't know why. Like the water fountain was like the popular area, like where we were.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that like the one like if you go visit, it's like to our knees water fountain.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's like the drinking hole.
Yeah, and it's
a watering hole. I mean,
drinking hole. Rated R.
Anyway.
And then I think you like moved or disappeared for a second, or like you transferred to a different school. Was it? Did you go Lillienlaschen or Flamson?
I went to Flamson.
Flamson. God, like I don't know. Like we just went our separate ways for like middle school.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
And then in high school, we're like, oh, we know the same people.
Yeah, we're like, wait a minute, I know this guy from like second grade. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, I remember when we were kids, we'd always play soccer.
Yeah.
And you would call me Michael, and I would call you. You would call me Miguel, and I'd call you Michael.
Yeah, because it was the opposite.
It was hilarious.
English and Spanish. Yeah.
I'd be like Michael. You're like Miguel. I'm like
Miguel's days with the golden leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had a podcast and we talked about like my soccer career was very
very limited.
Gifted. I would just stand there like zoned out, and then the guy's coming towards me, and I put my foot out, and I got the ball.
Perfect. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Like this guy's like counting grass or something.
We dubbed it the golden leg. So
it's called
gotta play a little dirty to win. Just kind of works out.
Pretty much. So I know you're in landscaping business. Are you still in it?
Yeah, I'll still do that.
Yeah. So tell me a little.
So it's my parents' business. We just been doing it since I think 2006 now. Yeah. And yeah, something fun to do. Just kind of set my own hours and kind of just.
So your parents started it, and then like you kind of like
Yeah.
jumped
So
in?
my dad and I started it back in '06. We used to, actually, the ironic thing is we were going to call it "Those Guys Cut Grass" before we called it American Yards.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, that sounds a little better. I don't think no one's going to treat us serious if we just go that, So
Those guys cut grass.
yeah,
That's
it was
funny.
hilarious, and
It's to the point.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
I feel like now would be like the best.
Oh, yeah, now it'd be more
I think
acceptable.
it would honestly be like super catchy right now. I'd be like, oh, that sounds good.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Yeah.
I'd be like, wait a minute, I want to go to that company. But being an American Yards is a company name. It does bring some people that are kind of aggressive and some that are like kind of like conservative. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
like right now, like, oh, it's a good name. Like, I like that name. It's
Yeah.
like, it's powerful. And I'm like, well, we did it back in '06 before this whole segregation thing happened. So we're like, kind of just, we love the American dream. So we kind of went with that. And then people were like, oh, Trump. And I'm like, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You're reading too much into it.
Like just
I
as
might-
American.
They're like, everyone's like American. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like we're just trying to just
wanna
cut
keep
some
you-
grass. That's all we're trying to do. So
That's I didn't even think about that right now when you said American grass. What
the
was
American
it?
Yards.
American Yards, yeah. And I was just like, oh, it's funny how like anything that you you do now today, it's like left or right. Like what?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? I'm trying to buy diapers. Like
No
what are you
gray
doing? Like,
area,
Yeah.
basically.
I know.
They probably when they heard American Yard, they're probably thinking that they're gonna do like a red, white, and blue stripes on their.
something. I
on your-
don't even
on the
know.
yard.
Do you guys have staff besides you and your family?
No, we used to back in '08, and then our economy just crashed.
The housing market was
Yeah. So it literally hurt the business for a while, and it's just myself and my mom actually running the business full time now. So
Well,
I like it. It's cool. I can kind of do what I want. I can put my own personal touch on it. Instead of having employees, it's kind of easier just to
Yeah.
kind of manage it. But I do want to bring it back to where I have employees because I don't want to do this forever. It's kind of
yeah.
it's kind of heavy.
Yeah,
do.
my uncle, he had a few houses under his name or whatever.
Mhm.
Like he would go like once a week or something like that and go take
Okay.
care of them. It was a small front yard or
Yeah.
whatever. Old retired ladies that had
Yeah.
money to spend or whatever.
Yeah.
And him and his brother were having, or my two uncles, I guess, they almost shared properties almost because they like went back and forth between the two.
Okay.
Did you have a lot of like connections like that? Like if somebody else wanted to
Yeah. So we
unload a property or something?
Yeah, we used to have like where we'd have companies come to us
Yeah.
and they would ask like, "Hey, do you work in this area? We'll kind of hook you up with this certain clientele, and we'll like give us some jobs." And that's what we did for a little while. But
Yeah.
I mean, everyone now is like cutthroat, and
Yeah.
there's so much business out, so you're kind of like, "Oh, I gotta take what I can get and kind of understand where to grow." But yeah, I mean, it's something that definitely it's hard.
I feel like there's every time I mean there's the city people too. Like you
Yeah.
always see them every once, especially here. Here we have like landscaping coming out like quite often because it's a fairly big property with a lot of like small plants. It's the weirdest
Yeah,
thing.
this complex is pretty big. I remember when they did the grand opening here.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like, this is a lot of landscape here. It's like, it's gonna take like a
unnecessary sometimes. I
week.
feel
It's like, it's like a week to just
We-
maintain
yeah,
it.
we every time we walk home, my wife, she's like, "This is so unnecessary. There's a lot of plants here that don't make sense, like
Yeah.
or like take up too much water or whatever, But it's just one of those things where like you don't really think about it unless you live there and then you see it happening a lot.
Yeah.
You don't go to like Walmart parking lots like who's taking care of the trees,
Yeah. Or who's even picking up the trash
I mean, it's
there.
really-
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's really for people to drive by and like look at it.
Yeah.
It's for the show, and
It's
then
pretty for the residents
it's
too.
it's pretty.
Yeah.
But if anybody ever wants to a place to live, it's just immediately it's like captivating.
Yeah.
But but people for the residents, it's like, all right, that might be a little too like, come on.
Yeah,
So
it
you-
makes it homey.
So you pretty much had a job like straight out of high school or during high school.
Oh, during high school, what are you talking about? I was like 15. Yeah, like 15.
It's like, son, you're old enough.
Yeah, so
Join the Italian family business.
ironically, so when we started the business, it was just my dad and I, and we basically just ran it full time. And it was like something we're like, okay, I don't know about this. This is kind of rough. Like, I'm 15, don't even have a life now. I'm just kind of working full time. And it was good because it taught me a lot of benefits of how to be money management and how to have responsibilities. And like I had to earn my income as a young age. I had to I just didn't get money given to me. I had to work for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was difficult because I had my friends who were like just giving like cars and doing all that. I'm like, what the heck, man? I'm working like 4 hours a week just trying to make to where I could get gas, let alone just like give it to me. So, but it was something cool. I was able to kind of model it. And then for my wife and I, when we do have children, I can teach that to them, like having a sense structure of like, hey, like start at a young age because you're going to have more responsible mindset when you grow older. And so something I always kind of like model to people. I'm trying to help them out with people like, hey, like kind of be more structured at first because then you can it'll ease you on in your ways. So
yeah, like hindsight 2020, you learned a lot and stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah.
At the beginning, what was your mindset though? Like, fuck, do I have to really get up this early?
Yeah. Well, during school I'd go. So basically, 15, 16, I was like 11th grade, 10th grade.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah. So about that time, I would like every day after school on Friday, I had to go mow the yards around my house for $20. Dad's getting a super deal on like me labor wise. Like he's making over like $200 on these properties, and I'm over here working 3 hours just to mow the grass on a Friday afternoon. I'm like, this is gonna be rough. Like some days I'd be like, I don't want to do this no more. I'd rather just go flip burgers or something easy. But I did that. It grew me into somebody that I knew that I wanted to become. Is like something I had to stay consistent. If I didn't stay consistent, it ain't gonna get done, and the business isn't gonna grow. And so, kind of stuff like that is where I kind of started to model it, and that's why I've been doing it ever since. And during the summer breaks, I would be literally working constant.
Yeah, I think that's where what happened maybe later on is like I saw glimpses of you, but I always saw you like either working or talking about work or something like that.
Gone. That was
like, what does he do other than that?
Yeah,
nothing.
And it's sometimes a kind of double-edged sword, being a workaholic, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So I've kind of noticed now over the years where I'm like, okay, I'm working a little too much. I need to dial it down. So now I'm volunteering at my church. So now I have 2 full-time jobs now.
One pays more.
Yeah. And so now I'm like, now my wife and I kind of understand a little bit more, like to kind of spend more time together, because if you work so much, you're not going to have any time when you get older that you can't, move as fast as in your 30s. Then you're 70, you're like, man, I can't walk. I can't do, hiking. I can't do crazy stuff because you're at such an age where you just like, you kind of want to slow down and kind of enjoy life. But at a young age, you can kind of do that until you start to get tired. So
I did see a picture where there was these 2 older couple in Italy.
Okay.
On the boat.
Yeah.
The gondolas.
Yeah, on the gondolas. They were like maybe in their like late 70s or something.
Okay.
Knocked out.
Oh.
And the caption says, "Don't wait until you're 70s to retire."
I've seen
to
that.
travel. Yeah, and I was like, dang.
Yeah, I actually saw that, and it kind of like confirmed my own mindset. I was like, wait a minute, like
it's right.
I really need to enjoy my life, because you can work and make so much money, but if you don't enjoy life, then what's the point of making that money? You're gonna have a wealth for your kids and your family, but you're not going to be able to enjoy at least a little bit of it. You're just going to be like working to you're missing a whole bunch of life events, and you're going to just be kind of growing into something you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Think about how much they spent just for a nap.
Yeah.
Like that old couple.
It's like $8,000 for that.
Airfare, travel.
That's what I always think about when like people, and then you got to take a look at the other ways. Like when people spend all that money to go like Coachella or something like that, like whatever they're decided at a young age, like, okay, sure, whatever. But it's like when they come back and they hear stories of like, oh, the traffic was terrible, the hotel stay was terrible,
it was hot,
the artist canceled shows, or it was hot, and I'm like, how much did you spend on this thing?
Yeah,
like you thought it was like, and it'll go the next year too.
Well,
So like as far as like quality of time off, like you gotta also think about that too. Is like what kind of quality time off? It's not just about like following the trend of going to Vegas or something.
Yeah.
I also feel though, if you're not prepared for the heat, like then you really haven't thought about where you're going.
Oh, that's true.
Like, because if you think about Coachella, nothing about it sounds like it's gonna be a nice, cool day.
No,
right? So if you're gonna complain about the heat,
sounds like it's gonna stink hot.
Yeah, exactly. Festival, everybody's not really in the right mind. I mean, what else did you
wow,
expect?
everybody's sharing their drinks for some reason.
Yeah.
This is weird. What are they taking? I probably shouldn't take that.
Somebody thought they were a dog.
No. So we're all technically now in our 30s.
Yeah,
Yes.
Right.
we're all almost middle aged now.
Oh, no.
Well,
there's
what is
plenty of
middle
time.
age? 50?
50. Technically,
No, technically,
right?
I was looking some research up, and they say now
Just a
that
weird Saturday night, huh?
yeah, trust me, I do so much like podcast listening
Yeah.
and like leadership building. I do a whole
Yeah.
bunch of weird like podcasts. I was like working, so I have a whole bunch of time where I can just listen to these random things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just weird knowledge of people's knowledge, and they say between like 35 to 45 is like kind of like what your middle age is now, because people don't usually live to
Fuck.
100 years old.
Yeah.
You know, people lived around like 80, 70s. Like that's usually,
Oh, back in the day.
yeah, back in the day,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
normal.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I can't remember who did. There was a comedian. Maybe I want to say Louis C.K. for some reason. He goes like, people are living longer now, like 10 years longer or something like that.
Yeah.
But what for? Like,
Yeah.
you can't even like go out. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even have a wallet anymore after you're like 80 or something.
They have a
Like,
license.
you don't have
can't
a
even
license.
drive.
Nothing's like. So what's the? He's saying like, what's the point? So yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it makes sense that the average middle life or whatever.
Yeah.
The
middle age.
yeah,
is
middle age
around
comes out to
35
be
to
35 to
45.
45.
Yeah, because it's like, you just,
With my
'Cause-
mindset, I'm still gonna say it's 50.
I know.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
to,
Still going
just to
to
give
say
myself
that.
more
Yeah, I'm-
time.
yeah, yeah. No, I
like, I want to live to 150.
like. I mean, I don't
That's
know. It's weird for me to consider myself almost middle age. I'm 33, and if you think the 35 is gonna be middle age, I never in my right mind as a little kid did I ever expect.
Oh,
Same.
does that mean we get to splurge on like midlife crisis stuff? Like,
No,
I don't.
get a
But, well,
Corvette.
here's the thing though.
Corvette.
I've never thought I'd imagine somebody being middle aged and liking Pokemon, and that's basically me.
Hey, it's okay.
I don't know. It's just the as a kid, when you think of old people or
Yeah.
anybody older, especially in your 30s, not only were you like, yeah, they're old as fuck,
Yeah,
but they were adults,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? And like whenever I think of adults, I still sometimes wonder, like, even as a little kid, I was like, when am I going to stop liking video games? When am I going to stop liking things that are supposedly unacceptable?
It doesn't stop. I don't think
No,
it
it
stops.
never-
Well, to
you
my
never do.
parent, like I know to my dad and maybe to other parents, like
Well,
around
different
our age,
generations,
yeah,
yeah.
different generations, they're like, oh, you need to get out of this because that's still little kid stuff,
Yeah.
right? And I remember as a kid being like, when am I going to get over it? And I don't think it's never going to happen.
No, of
I
course
already
not.
accepted that. So
Yeah, to be fair, when I was maybe 16 or 17, probably 16, I had a whole book of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, a whole binder.
Nice.
And I
Okay.
had a holograph and all that
I have
stuff.
all the good ones.
yeah, so
And
you-
I remember it was my
man of
cousin.
good culture, huh?
Yeah. Chick magnet. And then
that's-
I remember.
Don't go too far.
Brings all of these.
I gave you a compliment.
Yeah,
don't go.
no, okay, so when I think about chick magnets, as far as Yu-Gi-Ohs, right? You ever flip a magnet around and like it bounces away? That's what I think. I was kidding. Anyway, I remember
Two
my
negatives.
cousin. My cousin, he turned. I want to say like 10 or something. It was like finally into double digits. I can't
Yeah.
remember, either 10 or 9 or something. Very close to 10. And I was like, I'm getting too old for this.
Huh.
And I just gave him the whole binder.
Oh, wow.
That was my mentality. And then like years passed later, and like it started like pop up again, and I'm like, I kind of want to
Stop
ask him if he
being
still
shitty.
has it, because that shit would be worth some
you still
money
got
now.
Those Pokemon cards and
And
Yu-Gi-Oh
I'm
cards.
Yeah,
I
you're like,
definitely would
"Yeah,
take those.
let me take those off of you.
I still have my cards when I was a little kid.
Oh, I still have
Oh,
mine
since
too.
like elementary school. And
Yeah.
stuff?
I still have mine too.
Oh, I have them like in a folder and a binder. They're put away. Like
Yeah.
I opened up the box because it's under my little trailer that we have, and I'll pull them out and I'd be like, oh man, this is some good stuff here. Like this is old, but like worth some money because like the originals
Mhm.
of like the
The
original
first
ones.
one,
Yeah,
the first
so-
edition, the first 150 Pokemon.
yeah, and it's like the original cards because like I was looking at rabbit hole again. I looked up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let's see how much these are worth, and I was like, oh man, this is worth a lot of money. I should
Yeah.
sell it. But I'm like, no, because when I have kids, I want them to see like this. Is
That's
the
your coin collection.
This is the
Yeah,
original.
that's true. Yeah.
All these others, don't even worry about those. They're just imitations.
Yeah.
You want the originals.
Yeah. Pikachu's yellow, not blue.
Yeah. Like
And he was the
Charizard,
chubby one. Remember until they
Yeah,
made him
chubby.
skinny.
Tell
Yeah.
me I'm skinny.
he
Trying
was the one that had a movie after him, so that's the one we go after. Have you seen that yet? Have you seen that movie?
Oh,
Which
Pikachu, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
I
really
like-
good.
that was a good
I
movie.
think
I
they're gonna
liked
come
it.
out with another one.
Yeah, it was-
That's what I'm hearing.
I really enjoyed that movie. Surprisingly, it was good.
Yeah, because
People hate on it, but I love that movie.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
I mean, well, yeah.
it was funny. It had a good moment, and then I was like, I don't know about a Pokemon movie that's like humans, not just like normal like
Yeah.
cartoon style. And I was like,
Well, I kind of enjoyed that fact because they were able to make it
yeah,
have a little couple of darker tones.
yeah, it was
Like,
kind of
that whole like underground fight club that they had
Oh,
with
yeah,
like
that
all
was
these
so
tattooed
fun.
Puerto Rican dudes and
Yeah,
shit.
I was
And I'm
like-
like, yeah, okay, that think about it. If Pokemon were real, that
and the same look of how scared they were when what's it called, Gyarados?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, when Magikarp evolved into
Magikarp,
Gyarados.
freaking stupid Magikarp. Yeah.
No.
thing is bulletproof. You know, it's the best Pokemon ever.
Well, once it evolves. what was it?
That's the reason why.
Was it Team Rocket that had ideas of how to cook them, like out in sea or something like that?
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
they were
Like
like stuck.
Well, talk about rabbit holes. Yeah, we were. Yeah, it was. They were stuck out at sea.
And
Because
Meowth was like looking at him all crazy.
Yeah, and then
They were
he
trying
tried
to
biting him, and his skin was
teeth.
like impenetrable
Yeah.
or something.
They were trying to cook the Magikarp. I remember that.
Yeah,
That was
Magikarp,
hilarious. And then they have one, and then it
Eventually evolved.
it evolved into a Gyarados, and we're like, oh,
After they kicked it, because
Oh yeah.
they were
Yeah.
trying to swim out of the sinking ship. God, we're really doing this, huh? They were sinking. They were sinking in the ship, and everybody took out their water Pokemon and
Yes.
tied themselves up.
Yes.
And then James was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh
yeah.
yeah, I bought a Magikarp."
Yeah,
And of course, it was just splashing around
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
didn't work. So he kicked it,
yeah.
fell off, and then immediately evolved into a Gyarados. And they were like
Wow.
afraid of their lives. Yeah, like I said, that was.
I'm really proud that you remember that because I do too.
You know what? I feel better that I'm not the only one.
Hey, it's okay. I still miss the like Pokemon.
Yeah, waking up extra early just to catch
Oh
the new
yeah,
episodes.
I would record them
Yeah. Oh, you're
and never
lucky.
watch them.
Never watch them.
Yeah, we record them and never watch them because supposedly I'm like, oh,
When
watch them.
TiVo came out, doot, doot.
Oh yeah.
It was before all that.
And your parents tape over it. You're like, no.
Yeah, I remember.
Also, a soccer game just
Speaking of waking up early in the mornings, watching, tuning into WB and
Fox
watching-
Box, Kids WB.
Oh yeah.
But since today is 9/11, I remember waking up
Oh yes.
and my aunt, and I was pissed. I was like, I'm trying to watch a show here, and she's like looking at it, and
The
you see
world
one
is
of the trade centers
stopping.
in smoke, and then you see the other. It's like, holy shit. And then I get to
Yeah.
school. I'm not really like. When I was a kid, I lived in a Mexican family. Nobody talked about like the World Trade Center.
I didn't know the World
Nobody
Trade Center
nobody
was
talked
until
about
that
White
day.
House. Nobody talked
Yeah.
about Pentagon. Like we didn't know what those buildings were until like later in life.
They're like,
No.
it's government. We
Yeah.
don't care.
we just know who the president was and what his immigration laws are.
That's
Yeah.
all you needed
You're like,
to know.
thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, and so when I got to school, like all these like unfortunately all the white kids were talking about it,
Hey, that's okay.
and I
You're
remember
scared?
one of my friends was like, "Yeah, did you hear? Like we're fucking like 10. Like I saw, but like I didn't know like how to react or
Yeah.
like. But even like the teacher was like, "Oh my god," and all the kids or all the white kids, all my kids was like, "Dude, just chill. Like
It's fine. Don't
we're
worry
not in
about it.
trouble. Like just let it happen. We're gonna miss school. It's like the little
we
things."
Didn't, we did not. I mean,
But it didn't register to us until probably like a few years later, like
Yeah.
to me at least. And,
Right.
And I was like, oh shit, how many people? Oh, dang, and that's when all the military
Yeah.
started getting like a little bit more active on the news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it
always
was-
been active, but like
felt like
definitely
news
more
was like
highlighted.
24/7 after that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was just always nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was that
But I
different,
mean,
yeah.
same sentiments. I didn't know what the World Trade Center was
Yeah,
until
I
that day.
yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I had seen movies like Home Alone 2, where Macaulay Culkin's standing right at the top of it,
yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah, that was buildings, right?
Yeah.
Old school Nickelodeon with sticks. I don't know if you guys remember these segments. There's this little Stickley or whatever. He was on the World Trade Center as well, and that's
Okay.
unfortunately. Might sound bad, but when people were like, "Oh, the World Trade Center," I'm like, "What's that?" And as soon as I see it on the thing, I was like, "Oh yeah, Stickley was on that thing."
Yeah. Like I
You're
didn't
like, I
know.
remember.
Yeah, like I didn't know the first Spider-Man or something with Tobey Maguire
Oh,
had
yeah,
the
they
Twin
had
Towers on the poster, and then they took
Really?
it out on the
Wow.
DVD.
Well, they
or
had that
something.
scene that
Yeah.
they deleted where
Oh,
he
he was
saved
in
that
between?
helicopter,
Yeah.
and it was in between the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a trip.
Yeah,
What I don't understand is like why delete it though?
Yeah.
because people
wanna-
are traumatized and thinking about the people jumping off the buildings or something. Maybe loved ones.
Yeah,
and-
but now they're like going ham on it. Like
Yeah.
I think it was like 2009 or something. Remember Me came out with Robert Pattinson or something, or 2010.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah,
And it was
remember
about
that.
it was like you don't know about it's about the Twin Towers
Yeah.
until the very end when he's like waiting for his dad and little sister in the tower, and then it zooms out like him staring out the window, and it zooms out of him being in there, and it's the Twin Towers, and
That's a
everybody in the
trip.
crowd in the audience start crying, and you hear a
Wow.
couple of them like too soon, you know, and
Too
I'm just like,
soon.
oh my god, but yeah, it was about just some,
Was it a love story or something?
no, it's a father son
Yeah.
love story probably in there, but it was
Yeah.
about this guy.
I
And
mean,
like,
if it was Robert Pattinson, then I'm just
Yeah.
assuming they're gonna market
that's
him that
what-
way.
it's
Everybody.
usually-
Yeah.
we need to see his shiny skin. But yeah, but I remember it was like people were saying it was like it's too soon, blah blah blah. And now like if you go on Netflix, there's like at least a few documentaries on what
Yeah, there's
happened
actually
and
a couple
how
of
and
them,
what's
yeah.
going on. And
Well, I mean, isn't that what usually comedians say? Like, has it been long enough to where we can make fun of it? You know, or just like
Yeah, that's-
do a lot of things with it. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, if we think about it, it's what 21 years now from it.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's,
21 years.
right? I mean, to some people, probably still feels like it was just yesterday, or
Yeah.
yeah,
still too soon.
yeah,
But I mean, it's subjective.
yeah.
It's definitely sad. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of people lost their lives that day, unfortunately.
I did like some of the marketing after that is like on 9/10 or 9/11, the outside forces wanted to change the United States mindset or something, or like they wanted
Yeah.
they wanted to shake us to our core. And then so you see like the outside of houses and like yards and stuff like that, like empty, like maybe a garden gnome here and there.
Yeah.
And then on 9/12, flags everywhere. It's like they succeeded. It's like
I don't think that's what
Cool.
we're looking for, but
Yeah. yeah, it was very. It's like because like we got all patriotic after that. Kind
Yeah.
of thing, so.
Yeah.
that's when American Yards
Yeah.
was in there. It worked out perfectly.
Well, speaking of like decorations on yards, like how do you like go? So have you encountered any like big yards where like they have way too much decorations, or like what's like the oddest requests you've gotten?
Oh, I mean, there were some odd requests that I've had. Not really too much, really, honestly. Like nothing too crazy, like out of the
Yeah.
norm. Just kind of
Like, can you draw a happy face with a lawnmower? What?
No, I've never had that before. I've had like people complain about like they only want certain ways they want their yard to be cut, but nothing like patriotic flags or nothing crazy like that.
Like you try to like do the silhouette of the flag or the shadow of the flag? or
No,
something?
yeah, I've never done that before.
Like
How would you do the star?
I've done like I've tried doing
Stars.
like crop circles before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of hilarious. I was really bored in his yard. It's a really massive yard. And I was like, man, like let's see if I can draw some crop circles in this thing. So I started like just doing circles and like just kept doing. I just kept going around in circles, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It'll look fine. Don't worry."
Yeah.
And like it kind of crossed together, so it kind of looked pretty cool. But I was like,
Yeah.
never doing that again.
Yeah.
It took like 45 minutes extra time than I do. So
I remember going with my cousin when he took me, and he gave me the whole spiel. I was like, yeah, they paid me $175, and this is back in like 2008 or something, 2007.
Yeah.
Like when I looked inside the lady's window, because we didn't go inside, I just looked inside, like pills everywhere.
You
It was like
looked
a
in the
retired
house?
lady. Yeah,
creeper.
I know, weird, right? There's a window.
You're
And,
like, ooh, window. Let me look in it.
let me look at this old lady's window.
Maybe there's a pot.
I've had clients call the office once. People were like, "Oh, your son's staring in the windows," and I was like, "No, I mean,
I only had my underwear on, like for like what?
ironically, I'm mowing in your backyard, and you have about 15 windows. So
Yeah.
of course, it's gonna look
There's a
like
glance.
I'm gonna look like I'm looking into your window, but." No, like that's something I would never even attempt to try to do because I don't want to see things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I learned to just kind of like just put blinders on and I just don't even look because there are moments where sometimes I'll accidentally be mowing and I'll like kind of glance through a glass just to kind of check behind me through the glass, and I'll see like a client staring at me like terrified, and I'm like, okay, hi, and keep going.
Yeah.
But
Like, what do they want us to do? Like the horses with the side
yeah,
visors?
I don't even know. But I've just learned over the years just to kind of almost disregard everything, and until someone starts yelling at me, then I stop. But
Yeah. So we mowed this lady's lawn, and he showed me the first time how to do it, and then the next time I went with them, I went to go do it, and I was like, all right, I got to like one end to the other, and then I was done, and I don't know why I just didn't register what we were doing. I just went straight back across with the lawnmower without it being on.
okay,
But there was a pattern of back and forth.
yeah,
And I just went right through it
Nice.
after that. And I'm like, and my cousin's like, oh, never mind. We should be good. She won't care. Like,
that's the greatest.
but
one.
I was like, fuck, did I fuck up? Did I fuck up that much? Like,
Yeah, you messed up real bad. I did that once. We had a really big high dollar client, and they had like this massive property, beautiful grass, and I did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "What did you just do?" It was like I did the worst thing ever in the world, and I was like, "Oh, that's fine." She's like, "No, like you literally just cut just the grass at an angle. Even though everything else is super nice, you have this goofy line through the middle of the grass." So I had to remow it in that same direction just because just to kind of hide it. And I was like, my mom's like, "Don't ever do that again."
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm sorry."
So you
I'm
almost
learning.
got fired from
I felt so terrible, and like she's like, "You better do it now before we get fired." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'll do it."
Yeah. I just thought like he was like, oh, fucking it. Like he
Trust
was
me.
mad,
Yeah,
you know?
it's not good.
I wonder if that's why he didn't invite me back to.
I was gonna ask you. I was like, you're probably done after that.
Probably not. He's like, "Miguel, you're done.
Yeah.
We'll pay you half your salary because you didn't do a good job."
You have the right name for it, but damn, do you do a bad
Yeah,
job?
I remember. No, I think I was younger than 15 because it wasn't. It wasn't before I started working in like Taco Bell and stuff like that, like actual workforce. Like where I had to go apply and do an interview and stuff like that. I thought I was just helping him out for a little bit, but I remember him paying me like $70 or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, cool. But I remember him telling me like he got paid like 170 something bucks. And I'm like, so you mean 100? Well, I get it. You have the equipment, blah, blah, blah. So like, I didn't really care. I got $70 out of it, you know? I was like, whatever. And I didn't get a chance to do it again.
So after that, you never got to do it again?
I didn't
after
do it again.
that.
Yeah.
No, after that.
Maybe he paid me for the 2 times, you know, or something, you know, but I was just like, oh, okay. I've done like odd things here and there as far as like jobs go. Like I did do a little, like those 2 times. And then I remember going out and picking grapes.
Oh, you did?
My uncle is a like contractor, so to speak, over like for the vineyards and stuff like that. So he hires the people to pick the grapes, right?
Okay.
And I remember getting there freaking 5 o'clock in the morning, like before sunrise, way before sunrise.
Yeah.
And I was too
You're like
tall
in-
to hunch over, so I
like
was the
in
one
your-
picking the leaves out of the bin
Oh,
because they didn't want leaves. I was that guy, so my legs were hurting the days after. So it's like 8:30. So we went like 4 hours straight or 3.5 hours straight, something like that, before they actually have to take a break, like legally or whatever. And I was like 3.5 hours in, and I'm like, and I asked one of the guys, and it's like, "Are we done? Like, is this?"
Not even close.
He nodded yes.
Oh, wow.
He nodded yes, but I don't know why he nodded yes, because like I'm like, all right, cool. So I got in my car and bounced, and nobody's getting in the car. And I'm like, oh, okay. So like I told my uncles like, hey, were they finished? They're like, well, like was that it? It's like, yeah, that's fine. Like he never called me back either.
So
I'm like, dude, I just keep messing up on these odd jobs.
Like, just Miguel, you need to stay longer.
You don't get the called back.
You never get a call back.
And, I mean, he gave me like I think it was like $120 for those 3 hours or something like that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good money.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know how much everybody gets paid and how much I would have gotten paid if I did the whole thing. But the fact that I was already like super sore the next day, and then even worse on the third day or whatever, like my legs were just killing me. I couldn't go to the restroom, nothing.
Oh man,
because I was just like using my legs for everything.
Oh, so it hurt to sit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it was just terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, sweet Jesus, there's no way I can do this every single day. I'm too tall. that was my reasoning for not coming back. I'm vertically challenged. I can't
do this.
I can't keep up with these kids.
That's funny.
Yeah. What's the biggest job you've done?
Oh, like installation or just like maintenance?
Oh, let's say installation.
Oh.
It was recent actually. We did a big full front rehaul So we did like a whole new landscape to it. I don't usually do those too much because it's just too much mind power. Because the church that I'm part of, they have a recovery home, and sometimes I'll take some of the guys with me to kind of help do the work because I'm like, okay, I can't do this myself. This is going to be like 10 yards of rock. I'm like, I can't shovel 10 yards of rock by myself. There's no way.
Yeah.
And so I'll just like give donations to the church for the guys to come and help me out. And but we did like an entire massive fake grass, put rocks in, and it was on a hill, so it made it 10 times harder. And that was like the biggest one. Maintenance wise, we used to take care of a winery, and that was a lot of work. It just kind of had like a multi-million-dollar house on top of a hill. And I was like, oh, this guy had like so much grass. It took an hour just to cut the grass.
So Jesus.
With 2 tractors that we had, and I was like, this is a little much. And we weren't getting paid good because we were like, oh, we need the business, so we'll go into a winery, they're good, and it ended up being a horrible idea. We were getting paid like $3,000 cheaper than we needed to be.
So that's the house that you're staring in the windows.
No, that one had like that mirror tint, so you couldn't even see if you needed to.
You just saw yourself.
You just saw yourself instantly. Those were cool. I like those mirror tint. I want to get that for my house because it'd be nice to have the heat reflection. We lived on top of a big old house, on top of a hill, and it was big old rolling mountains inside the grass, and it was a lot of work. I don't miss that yard.
A lot of up and down hill.
Yeah, it was like gophers and everything. You're like, this is not fun.
You've dealt with probably a lot of rodents, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right?
They're great. It's like Groundhog Day, like trying to find the gophers all the time. It's like Caddyshack, trying to kill them. Super hard.
Yeah, I remember I worked at, God, I did a lot of stuff. I worked at a vineyard, but I worked on harvesters.
I want to know if you went back.
Right? Here we are.
Did you get the call back there, dude?
Yeah,
no, I didn't. I have a theory for that, too.
Let's just see, how many jobs has Miguel done?
I've done quite a few. I've done sign spinning. Yeah, that was
spinning?
That was sign spinning.
Yeah.
I told myself get out the box.
Going out for business.
Yeah, so I did for Metro PCS when they were over by Albertsons. I was like outside.
Yeah, okay.
Well, anyway, so I worked on harvesters, and we pulled the harvesters mostly just to clean them. We didn't really use them at night. That was a different crew. We would come in super early in the morning and clean them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And oil all the hydraulics and stuff like that. And we would use little tractors, small tractors to pull them.
Okay.
And I didn't know how to drive a tractor, but they just assumed you did, so I drove tractors.
Yeah.
And I remember one of them wasn't working, so I opened up the hood, and there was all these rats and baby rats in there. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, no wonder they probably chewed through all the stuff or the wiring and stuff like that. And then my brother just comes along, water hose, everything. What the fuck? Like, just baby rats and everything. I felt like, no, don't do that.
They're little babies.
But then the reality is, like, there's millions of them out there. So it's like,
yeah.
there's no point in caring about these little ones. I'm like, dang.
You gotta have cats.
Don't lead the free world, buddy. Like,
yeah.
Well, what happened to those rats after they got washed out?
they're probably dead. The little baby ones. The mama
so
rat
they
probably
just
left.
go to the tractor
You guys
right over.
You guys didn't put them in like a kennel, make sure they're okay, give them food.
Nurse them back to health. No,
Yeah, you didn't
Is
wanna
that
do
why they didn't make you come back?
I know. So the reason I think we didn't come back, one, I stopped work. I worked there for like a few months, and it was very. I was working 3 jobs at a time at that time, so I worked Monday through Friday there from like 5 a.m. to like noon or something like that.
Jeez.
Like noon to 1 o'clock, something like that. I would get back. I know I'd get back at least until like 2:30 because it was like a 45 minute drive.
Yeah.
Or a 45-minute drive to an hour or something like that, depending on how fast you drove, to be honest. And Monday through Thursday, I would work the theater evening shift, like 5:30 to 10:30. So I would go straight home and go to sleep and then wake up and do that Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, you remember the little tortilleria in San Miguel? The little convenience store, Mexican convenience store?
Yeah.
My uncle used to own it. And I would work for him on the weekend. And I was like, so I was working like 3 jobs at once. And then I think something in my head just kind of clicked. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm done. I got a car out of it. Like, I earned enough to buy a car and all that stuff. And I'm like, once I got that, like, my head was like, okay, do I really want to do this? So I stopped doing the vineyard. And then I asked Park Cinemas, like, hey, I would rather give you guys more time or more of my time if you guys would at least promise me like 30 hours a week or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. He's like, yeah, we'll do one better. We'll give you a raise too. But I'm like, cool, yeah,
Like,
that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
perfect.
So I went to my uncle and I told him, I was like, yo, I quit, bro. Like, because he did some sketchy shit. He doesn't own it anymore. So I think I
Okay.
can say. Whoa. He did some sketchy, like there was,
Just throwing his uncle to the bus.
yeah, it's just there was some weird stuff that happened there. Guy shows up with like a box with holes in it, and I'm like, what is that?
Iguanas. Don't worry about it.
I want to say it was a rooster. I never saw the rooster, but I want to say it's a
yeah.
rooster.
Man, so talk about a sketchy place to go. Have you been to like the LA alleys before?
No,
Down in LA? Like kind
Oh
of
yeah, yeah.
the
What's it called?
alleys?
It's callejones, was it? Something like that.
yeah. There's this. The Spanish word. Oh fuck! It's excuse me. No, it's not callejones. It's something else. It's
I don't know. It's like a
but
shopping center of just
huge shopping center. Like
just
Yeah.
real
I
sketchy.
used to
Like,
go there all the time.
oh yeah,
like you're gonna
we
see
paid
like
$5 to use the restroom.
oh yeah.
Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get like really concerned there. Well, so we were down in Anaheim in July because we had a big church conference we went to. And my wife's like, oh, let's go to the alleys because we can get really cheap stuff
You
there.
get, like it's like Costco for Mexicans.
yeah, I was like, this is a great idea. A big old white guy, 6'1", 245 pounds. Let's go there. You know, I really will blend in.
Yeah.
You know, and my wife is Mexican, so she's like at her culture. This is no problem. And she's like, oh, let's get you some suits. You deserve suits. And I was like, I'll just go to Kohl's. It's fine. And she's like, no, we're getting suits here. They're going to be cheap. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So we show up to this little suit place, and it looks really great in the front until you get to the back.
Yeah.
It's like a sweatshop. It literally is. It's like there's a guy with no shoes on, just sewing pants. And I was like, I don't know about this. This is a little concerning. But we ended up buying 2 suits.
For $50.
No, hey, I got them for $400. It was
like the shark skin suits or like
No,
something really good
I
quality.
really wish it was an alligator skin with the boots, and I wish it was like that.
No,
but
there's actually shark skin. It looks like a
Yeah,
regular suit, but
yeah.
it's like shark skin suit.
I'd rather
That
would
cowboy hat included, right?
Yeah, but
Pointy boots.
that'd be awesome. No, it was funny. It was a good experience. I definitely won't do it again without like someone.
I was so anxious when I went down there. We went specifically to find my wife's dress.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a traditional wedding, so like I was seeing all the stuff she was trying on, and
I was like, wait a
we
minute.
did find a dress. A lot of them were very like plush, like Mexican quinceañera style, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Fluffy.
But she finally, like fluff,
Oh,
a lot of
yeah,
fluff, a lot of
yeah.
like padding in
You
it.
didn't want to go that way.
No, and I remember.
Is that still the style?
I think so.
Is
I think
it?
it's changing though. I feel
feel
I
like-
haven't. Fun fact. I've never actually been to a quinceañera.
Wow.
I feel like I
Wow.
mentioned
Well, you
that.
did
I
mention that. Yeah.
I'm a very deprived Mexican child.
Yeah, you need to really step it up a little
I know
bit.
you've probably been to one.
No.
No?
I've been to like Mexican parties where like I was the only like white boy there.
Well, you're not that far off, so I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, you're
Kinda
Italian.
close. Yeah, I was like, it worked out pretty good.
We went down there and like the entire time was like I made sure because anytime we go anywhere public, whether it's the fairgrounds, even Disneyland, I try not to drink a lot of liquid so I don't have to go pee or anything like that. Because when
Yeah.
I start drinking a lot of liquid, it's flushing through me quickly for some reason. I don't know if it's a medical issue or not, but
Probably need to get checked out.
yeah, probably. Anyway,
You're almost middle aged. You need to do that.
Prostate exams are coming up.
I know. God, 40, right? 40? Is
50, I
that
think.
50? No,
It's
I heard
50.
40.
No, don't scare me.
No,
like
I
that
heard
right
40. No,
Hey,
I have a
just-
friend. He says 40.
just
Watch
breathe.
out.
Just
now.
breathe.
Don't scare me, man.
Don't hold your breath. Just
Yeah.
breathe.
So we went to one parking lot and they're literally you have to pay, and they word it to where it says
Oh yeah.
they word it to where it sounds like it's gonna be $1 per minute.
No, it's even worse than that.
No, $1 for the first 5 minutes. After that, it's like $5 per minute or something. It's like they worded it, at
Right.
the bottom. It's like, oh, then it's $5 per minute, like first 5 minutes. Yeah,
No.
This is the weirdest thing.
They'll put like a big number, and they'll say like $5 for parking, and like small print. It'll
For
be
the
like,
first 10 minutes.
yeah, and then after that's like $30 for the day. I'm like, what?
yeah, yeah.
And it's like a run.
they-
It's like a taken over parking garage. Like they just like
Yeah, yeah, no.
scared out the
It's like-
people
it's
that
like-
owned it.
It's like if you go to slow. Yeah, I know. It's like they took over it, like Walking Dead style. Like
That's exactly what I
the
was
homies
thinking.
taking over
Dude,
the
That's exactly what I was
residents.
thinking.
We're like, my wife and I are walking through, and I was looking, and we're like walking through this little strip mall area, and we're looking up, like, this probably was really nice back in the day. Like, it looked like someone just came in here
It took over.
and took it over and said, hey, we're going to just sell stuff out of here.
Yeah.
And we're not going to ask nobody's permission. Like the
Yeah.
landowner's probably like loving it because they're probably getting all paid in cash.
Yeah, under the table.
Under the
cash,
table. And
yeah.
like, but you just like see all these beautiful buildings. Like you see the bones and you
Yeah.
just see like nothing but like just random stuff like boards and walls built and like
Yeah.
sketchy things conformed into it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is interesting place. I don't know.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is like you can haggle. It's like, oh, the other parking structure told me it was $3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, all right, like
It's like, I'll give you the other off.
yeah. And once we parked all the way in the roof. I don't know why.
Yeah, I did
Parking
too.
structures, I always park in the roof. I don't know, like there's like more parking or less people to deal with, and less cars driving around trying to find a parking spot. Right. On the way back to the car, we're like, she has to pee.
Like where
Of
do we
course.
park at?
We go over. There's this lady chilling outside the bathroom where it says bathroom. Right.
Uh-huh.
She was like talking on the phone the entire time, talking to us.
Uh-huh.
We're like, we have to use the restroom. She points at the freaking the pricing sign and continues doing whatever the fuck she was doing. Babe, I think it's $10 or like $5. Like she was,
Like
it was like $3, right? It was $3.
Gosh.
And we're like, fine, whatever. And like a little line started forming behind us. Like, we might as well be the first ones in there rather than the last.
Like,
you know?
well, I guess
Yeah.
when in Rome.
So we paid for it, and then we're like, where's the toilet paper? And he points at another side. We give her $2 per square.
per ticket?
Per square.
Per
For a
ticket.
little like rip off.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my God. So I gave her $2. I'm like, babe, make it work. Like,
Better make that work.
Ball it up
oh
or
my
something.
God. Yeah. And I'm like, just,
Use a sock. Something.
yeah. It was just like,
Single ply.
next time bring wipes. I don't know. Like,
That's hilarious. I'm
but
glad
it was real bad.
Oh,
And there was
you
like
know
stuff
what?
in there too, like as storage.
No, we got I actually remember now. So we were shopping and like we got the suits and we're like, oh, we'll get them tailored there. Terrible idea. Don't get your stuff tailored.
Bring them back. Yeah.
Bring them back
Yeah.
because they tailored to a man that's standing, not to a man that's sitting. You can't sit. You can't move.
Yeah.
You can't even breathe. You're like, so
That's funny.
we were like, okay. He's like, oh, an hour. And I'm like, okay, an hour for 2 suits to tailor. I'm like, we'll just go back in like an hour and a half. So we went to Chipotle, which is ironically like down the street. I was like, wait a minute. I was really expecting something.
Half a block more than Taco Bell. Like, I'm
Yeah, there was Subway. Like
just all the Mexican like versions of everything.
Well, no, it was like it's weird because like in the alleys, it's like really, really dense. It's like it's a couple of square
shoulder to
blocks.
shoulder almost.
It's like a square block, like a couple square blocks of just straight, just like just random street corners. The whole curb is completely full of street sellers, and like you walk like 3 blocks, and it's just like this beautiful town,
Yeah.
like skyscrapers,
Oh yeah, it turns into
buildings,
something else. Yeah.
and you're like, wait a minute, where did I just walk from?
Yeah.
This is like Walking Dead style. I'm like, where did I just come from? Like, I need to like worry about it. Like, and we're walking back, like, oh, my wife's like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh crap, where are we gonna go to the bathroom? So we're like looking at different places. Like, oh, there's Chipotle. Perfect. They might be clean. And you had to get a code and get in there. And thankfully, we didn't have to pay,
Yeah.
$20 just to go to the bathroom.
Should have gone to Chipotle.
You should have gone to Chipotle. Even Subway was not allowing people for public bathrooms.
Unless they bought something.
Yeah, and it was ironic. We went to a little coffee shop, and we're like, "Hey, can we use your bathroom?" Like, "Oh, we can't. We don't have the permit for it." And I was like, "Wait, what? You don't have a permit for the bathroom?"
You can wash your hands. I can't promise what comes out.
Well, I guess it's something to do with like some sanitary wise,
Oh.
like for the city. So I guess they have a bathroom for the employees, but they don't have it for the patrons. And I was like, wait a minute.
That's so weird.
I was like, that makes no sense. So like, if someone has to go to the bathroom, like, oh no bathroom, go.
Yeah.
I don't want you blowing up their bathroom.
Yeah. That's crazy though.
That was my experience at the alleys.
I think it's called callejones.
That's
right?
exactly
Is that what you said?
That's what I said, yeah.
No, I keep replaying in my head. Callejones.
I'm supposed to go back there, which is so much fun.
You're supposed to.
supposed to go back there.
For another suit?
Oh, cause no, I might bring my suits with me. Like, hey, fix them. But I'll be like 3 hours.
They're
into
going to
it.
make you stand up for 3 hours.
Yeah, no, because our church, you guys need a couple suits, and they're really cheap down there. So we're
Mhm.
like, oh, we'll bring them down there and have some fun down there. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about fun. We'll go down there. Maybe we'll see some rabbits and random things on the side of the street. But
I think it's a trip because I think it's just a little getaway, kind of like us when I was a kid.
yeah,
Our Sundays were very much Santa Maria and Napomo,
yeah. It's like
and that was our trip every
Yeah.
single week.
living the life.
Yeah.
Like I'm hearing people going to Disneyland for the weekend,
You're
and
like, that's too much.
I was
money.
like,
No, my
Hey,
son.
you can get the same churros or better at Napomo.
I don't know. There was that outlet mall in Santa Maria that had like all the food. And
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
and
the
a couple arcade games.
discoteca. Like no, the discount mall. Discount mall.
Discount mall.
It was
yeah.
called in English discount mall.
Discount mall.
Yeah,
Are you talking about the big mall in Santa Maria?
no, small little building.
Small one.
Oh, okay.
Like
Where
one
all the
story.
shoes are wrapped in like plastic.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it just got done shipping, kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah,
So
yeah,
off the
Like,
off the truck
if
special.
Alibaba or AliExpress had a building,
It's like, oops, I fell off truck. You can buy.
yeah, pretty much. And no, yeah, that was our trips on the weekend. So I don't even know where I was going with this thought right now.
It's Sunday. Your Sundays.
That was
my
your
Sunday, but there was
vacation.
something else. Yeah, that was my vacation. God, there was
Yeah,
a reason why I
vacation,
brought this up.
yeah.
I can't remember now.
My Sundays were church in the morning and then usually like McDonald's or something. That was my Sundays. Not
Nice.
church in the morning, but
Oh no, we went to tacos in Santa Maria, El
you guys,
Toro,
you guys
whatever.
are, oh yeah,
you
that's
guys
a
are
good
living the
Sunday.
life.
Right,
there.
right next to that was a panaderia.
Mm-hmm.
Brought home some bread. I was like, oh my god, some cuernitos. Oh my god. I'm getting hungry now.
Like, I ain't getting hungry
You're
now.
making me hungry.
You know what's funny? Like, I remember. I'm going a little dark here with my family, but I remember my mom like making fun of my weight when I was a kid.
Yeah, who didn't?
But I'm like,
mine- I
my
did,
mom was
my
like,
parents
walk
did.
straight. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know
You're
if
the
it was
one
that-
feeding me.
It was like
Like,
old. I don't know. It's that old school mentality that if you get made fun of it enough, you're gonna be aware all of a sudden and then try to
Yeah.
change it.
yeah, I just
Very
saw,
toxic.
I just saw a video where it goes like, "Para de comer pollo, te van a salir plumas" or whatever.
yeah,
Like just random stuff like you're gonna get in trouble for or not. It's like there's a consequence to what you're doing, even though like they do it and they do it to you. So it's like the weirdest
Oh man.
concept. I don't know. It was very confusing. It's
Well,
like
I always thought it was funny. It's like they'd be like talking about your weight, but you haven't even hit your growth spurt yet.
oh yeah,
And
no.
it's
You're gonna grow into me, huh? Don't worry.
no, we
No,
didn't get
no,
that.
no, we get made fun of. They took
we didn't get
advantage.
that. No, we that would
yeah.
be the nice way. No, that's
Yeah.
the
that's the nice white
that's the-
people way.
Yeah, that's the
It's
full
like,
house way.
You're
You'll-
filling in the shoes. Don't worry.
You'll grow into it. You're
Grow
gonna
it.
hit your
No, that's the
growth
full
spurt.
house version
No.
of it. No,
No, my-
we didn't get full house version.
That's the public version you're talking about. That's not
No,
behind
the
closed doors.
Mexican way was I remember my dad making fun of my high pitched voice as a kid.
Oh, no.
Like he would mimic it and everything. And then one day I can't remember. My mom was calling me out for breakfast, and I'm like, I'll be right out. You know, like, and my dad was like, "What the fuck is that?" So, like, but in Spanish, que chingos, you know, whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
But he was very like, they know it's gonna happen. You hit puberty and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
your voice gets deep. But it was very like it was almost like night and day when they were making fun of my voice, and then it went deep like right after that.
You're like, okay,
Yeah.
you grew into a man.
You know what always bothered me was when I was little and like I didn't before getting into puberty. I had a high pitched voice, and every time I'd answer the phone,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, "Bueno," you know, and then they'd be
Excuse me,
like,
miss?
"No." I mean, they'd immediately think it was my mom, and that would bother me for so long. Like, no, it's not her.
It's like, no, not her. It's me.
I feel like you and I were tall in
Yeah.
elementary school,
Yeah,
like,
we're super dull.
and then we got taller.
Yeah. It's
Which is weird. I think that's why we clicked because we were the tall kids.
yeah, I remember that. I remember we'd always play soccer and we were always on the grass, just causing mayhem, pushing kids and stuff.
Over by the oak tree.
Yep, or by the caterpillar oak tree. Remember that? No,
Yeah, there was a lot of caterpillars.
dude,
Yeah.
it was nuts.
During the
So-
season, yeah, we were
Yeah.
people, and the
They're
parent,
doing-
like the teachers, didn't care.
No, they're like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure now that tree's down. Like
Oh, it probably
It's
is.
not even
Probably.
there anymore.
That church is. I mean, that school is completely different now.
Oh yeah,
They
I drove
demoed.
by 3-story building or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
they're changing
sad. It made me cry. I used to work by it, and I was like, oh, they're gonna destroy this beautiful school. But I mean, there's like tens of thousands of kids now.
I mean, they're upgrading, so
Georgia Brown's upgrading because they're gonna
yep,
switch.
they're gonna switch.
Georgia Brown's gonna be there. Bauer Speck's gonna go on the north end.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know. You know, when we were
Wait,
when we
what?
were in middle school or high school, middle school, or even elementary, like I remember when they were telling me. Oh, so I'll let you right now. I remember when kids would go over there and we would I'd find out that they went through a Spanish speaking program, like to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, it was very, very, very looked down upon from other people. From what I noticed, like other
Really?
people's like
Oh,
they
really?
really looked down on it. But then like 2019 rolls around when I was living in that area, like by Georgia Brown,
Uh-huh.
and there was a line
Yeah, now everybody's on
trying to
the
sign
dual
up for
version.
it.
Wow. Yeah, I know my old boss for a limousine company. He sends his kids there because they want them to speak Spanish.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, that's it. You know,
because they found out.
I mean, Paso's always been pretty conservative. It gets less conservative, but it's still conservative.
yeah, no, it's like
So, like,
the more you dig, the more you're like, wow, this town is.
oh
really
yeah, no,
nice.
no.
it's just-
I mean, we compared. I mean, we've been here for a long. I'm assuming you've been here for a long.
Oh yeah, I've been
Yeah, I
here
think-
for since '94. I've been here.
See, there you go. So like, you think back and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then you're like, I mean, I still remember hearing about like immigration patrolling around
Oh yeah.
the like one stop
Oh yeah,
food. You know where the
dropping by.
yeah.
That's.
just
I
all
think
the time.
that's why we didn't do much in
We
town.
didn't. No, we did. And actually, no, that's right because I still remember like, oh, you got to be
We
careful.
did do things when it was in crowds, like Pioneer Parade.
Yeah, but it was
Sure.
still like, don't
Main
be walking
events.
around by yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
It was.
I mean,
weird.
I was an
It-
American citizen. I was born here, but like, I know my mom wasn't yet.
You just
You
had
know.
that instilled in your brain.
Yeah.
to-
No, it was no.
just
And
to
so like,
be
not
terrified.
only did we have to worry about the van handing out candy kind of thing, like, you know, when you learn it in elementary
Yeah,
school.
like 3 different terrifying
Yeah, yeah.
things. You're like, oh
You
my
had
God.
not only that one, but we also had to worry about immigration. So
Yeah.
it's like,
La
oh shit,
Migra
yeah.
and everybody
Yeah,
else. You're like, oh
exactly.
My gosh, like, what do I do now? I can't even like go out and ride my bike now. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah. No, I remember doing a lot of things when we were kids that are like now it's like really frowned upon, like drinking out of the water hose.
Oh yeah, that's a sin now.
Yeah,
Can't do
you're
that
not
now.
Supposed to do that. I'm like, what?
I'm still alive. We're still alive here. We're still standing.
I think it's. I mean, I think the pipes back then were newer or something.
The,
It all
the,
depended on the taste of the
the
water.
fresh
but-
galvanized.
Yeah, freshly galvanized.
Good old rust.
Yeah, all the metal kills the germs or something, but you're still drinking some kind of metal.
Yeah, you're
fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna die.
God, I remember. What's it called? The playground at the park. We had the big metal slide,
man.
Oh yeah.
the wooden and
The
like
death slide.
Yeah,
the wooden merry-go-round.
the wooden merry-go-round that your uncle would spin the hell out of.
Oh yeah.
those brick bathrooms, man. I
The
never
brick bathrooms
yeah.
that don't have doors to
Yeah.
the restrooms
Yeah.
stalls.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I missed that merry-go-round.
Oh, I thought you were about to say I missed the bathroom. Like no.
No.
I miss going in there
Stranger danger.
and peeing into a big bucket of a metal bucket.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey, now it's upgraded to just now a metal porcelain kind of thing now.
And like
now there's
separated
stalls. Now it's
Now
stalls
it's
and
separated.
separated. Yeah, they have a little washing station.
washing station. Yeah.
And then when the whole the world decided to identify whoever they wanted to be, they had to get rid of all the women's signs. And now it's just all gender throughout the entire
Gender
thing
neutral.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Which I think it was either way. I think people were using the restroom.
yeah. I
no
know.
matter who
I don't
it
know
was.
why they did that way. They should just had it all just open to everybody because it was like, why would you have women's and men's sides? Kind
See,
of like,
and
And since they're individual stalls too.
yeah,
really
it's like,
didn't
why
matter.
would you need
Yeah.
to? Like, women are just as disgusting as men. Like, my wife's told me some stuff, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, when we went to go do the like the food manager test over like in Hollywood, there was like a seminar class that we took or something to get certified, like a bigger class
Oh, for the
in person.
mess?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in person stuff, and instead of like online.
Yeah.
And they did some. They gave us some analytics regarding like a baseball stadium,
Okay.
and I think it was like 70% of the guys who went into the restroom did not wash their hands on the way
Oh
out.
yeah, 100%.
I get it. It happens. That's why the men's restrooms are usually cleaner because nobody's using anything in there.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
And
to
then
be
the women's
honest,
room, it was like 30-something%.
it's like a bomb went off in there.
Yeah. And it's
Shrapnel
crazy.
everywhere.
It's like I don't know why, but it's like it's just very but to say 30-something% of women, because we unzip and let it
Yeah.
fly, right? If we have to pee, they actually have to like clean themselves and
Yeah, they gotta do
all
the
that
whole
stuff,
nine.
so.
I mean,
They're
like,
more
they're more involved.
They're more involved.
I don't know. The way I
They're
look,
more
the way I
involved.
look at it, your hand is still really close to your junk, whether you touch
Oh,
it or
yeah.
not. I mean,
But I mean, is it clean or is it not clean? That's the thing you have to kind of worry about.
Yeah.
Like if you can do it without touching anything, I mean, what's the point of washing your hands?
But I think that 30 and 70% kind of evens out when you like start to factor those in.
Yeah. Do you like really go in the rabbit hole of
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, what am I thinking here?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing for all my Saturday night? Like looking up the percentages of different things. And
when
like,
when we get whenever you get a chance to like go through your browser history, see what is.
no, I don't want to because some of the stuff is just weird.
unless you deleted history already.
To your cache.
That's hilarious.
There's
something we learned back in 2000.
Browser history, cache,
Clear history, clear cookies.
yeah,
Clear your search
factory
bar.
reset the computer.
clear your Google search bar.
Yeah,
Whatever you do, just clear everything.
yeah.
Miguel's over here trying to like, oh, I should probably check it. My wife's
No. iPhones now have
There's incognito mode now.
incognito mode,
Oh,
so it
yeah.
won't save any of that.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, great. Now we know Miguel's hidden addiction now.
It was
It's
never
not-
hidden, dude. Never
It's
paid
not an
attention.
addiction.
You never paid attention.
I can stop whenever I want. Just kidding.
I know who I am.
I remember when I was a kid, and if you're up late enough
Uh-huh.
on like HBO or
Oh,
like
gosh.
the extra channels,
It's
if you're up
horrible.
late enough, you get some softcore porn in there. It was like
It was awful.
So if you had satellite,
no, it was. I think it was through Charter.
It was up
It was,
cable.
it was cable, and then
It was like-
they give you a package deal.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think after like 11 or midnight or whatever, they assumed kids stopped watching TV at 10 or something.
Yeah,
Like
that was horrible.
I would be flipping through the channels. I'm like, that's his best friend. What are you doing?
That's where my addiction started.
no, I mean, I still remember Channel 99 for me. It was the pay-per-view channel,
Oh yeah,
but it was
Oh, yeah.
fuzzy, but also not fuzzy enough.
yeah, that was horrible.
So
You can look at the camera.
That was a horrible.
it wasn't fuzzy enough. So if you waited just enough, like
Oh, you know
it
what's funny? The I don't know why, but like the password to buy movies on there, I guessed it.
wasn't it 1, 2, 3, 4? I think we
No,
talked.
it was
about
like 1111.
It was 1, 1, 1.
Oh, that's
And then almost
Because your parents never bothered to change it.
But then they saw
Hey.
the charges, and I'm like,
Oh,
I thought it was included.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was included.
I
I'm
didn't have
sorry.
an accent as a kid.
So I was listening. So the funny thing about
the younger he was, the more of a thick accent Miguel had.
so
Can you imagine when I'm bored? Wow. Wow.
Oh, wow. I want some milk.
Quiero leche. Anyway, that's funny.
No, I was listening to a podcast about that, and they were saying that when you go to travel somewhere,
Yeah.
you have a tendency to like mimic the
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have a horrible time doing that because I'll be like talking to you guys, and I'll like mimic an Italian, like a Mexican accent, or just like I do that all the time.
I didn't know we had an accent right now.
No, you guys are fine.
Yeah.
It's my brain
There-
just goes
no,
in that mental state.
I know exactly what you mean. At the theater, I had this like British family come in.
You start talking British, huh?
And- no. I was fighting it. so bad. It's like, can I get 3 small popcorns, please? And
You're like, oh, okay, sir.
and I was gonna tell him, I was like, get the large and just split it. You know, you don't have to, whatever. It's like, but it's like, and he saw me like about to tell him about the large instead of the 3 smalls that he's spending money on.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, is that a bit silly? And I'm like,
You're like pacing yourself in your brain.
I had to pause.
You're like, I can't do
I
it.
had a pause.
I can't resist.
I had a pause, and I'm like,
I can't do it.
large, I can give you boxes, and you can split the popcorn.
Did you? Would you rather fancy a large?
I should have.
Did you learn that in like management? Like
What?
not to do that?
What?
To not to go to
No.
the Italian, not to go in like their
To the accent?
to accents.
No, I think it's just over time.
Over time, you kind of
Yeah,
do
over
that.
time. I knew there was. I did. I don't know if it was New Zealand or Australian, but I did almost like copy one time,
Oh,
and I was just
man.
very. And as he walked away, I was like, "Fuck! What did I just do that?" Like, I was starting to talk to him, but like, it's the weirdest thing because I think like some of the mannerisms that people have, if you start mimicking them, you
Yeah.
start connecting with you. Like it's
Yeah,
like
you-
how to
you take it
win
along with
friends and
them.
influence people kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
you take
Yeah.
them along with
like
you.
you know you
Becomes part of
you
your
start
repertoire.
talking to you start doing like the same stuff they do or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just it's very interesting, and they start like thinking like, oh, this guy gets me.
He understands who I am.
He understands who I am, and that's
I think it's
pretty
the
much,
curse of the extrovert.
Yeah, but I think it's just I've been in the freaking customer business for so long.
Yeah.
It's just I learned it automatically.
That's good.
Throughout the years. But there is, I know there's, like you mentioned, you listen to like leadership podcasts
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So like,
That's something that I just
what's like your one go to like just learn more?
like what podcast wise or
Yeah. And we're talking on the podcast too.
I know. So John Maxwell has a really good podcast. I don't know if you know who John Maxwell is.
No.
He writes a few books and he does like a leadership. He has a business where he does just building businesses and he tries to get them stronger leadership.
Yeah.
And he ironically when he first started in his leadership school, he actually was becoming a pastor, and he actually had to learn how to be a good leader to his church.
Yeah.
And ironically, he had two options. He had an option to serve a big church with a big attendance, or to a small church with not very many. He picked the small one because he wanted to learn the fundamentals of leadership and growing a following of people to get their trust. And because he easily could have just been, he was overqualified. He didn't even get paid what he was supposed to be getting paid, but he could have went to the bigger one and could have made money and could have grew the church and could have done what he wanted. But he decided to go to the small one because he wanted to have more intimate moments to be like, I need to grow my leadership because I'm such a young age where I can kind of grow who I am and kind of fundamental there. So I listen to his, and then Greg Rochelle. He's a cool pastor, leadership builder as well, and I listen to those two. I mean, I know it's like a lot of church stuff, but it's a lot of good leadership building. His leadership is more based on actual leadership and growth of businesses. He does a little sprinkles of church, but it's not like that's because he's a pastor, but he also does most of it.
But when you're listening to them, it's like you can take what they're saying and apply it to everything.
Anything.
Because even through motivational videos that I see on like YouTube and stuff like that, they'll throw some Gary Vaynerchuk, some Tony Robbins, some and then you'll see like one guy like walking around like he's in church, and he actually is like, because you see the video clip, whatever, but he's like talking like straight facts, like be who you want to want others to be, or like lead by example, the general stuff, and then he just kind of dives into that a little bit.
I love it. It's something that I never knew I would love to just listen to, because I can become a better leader, not just for myself or for the church that I'm a part of, or just for my marriage. And I just start to kind of model the things that I listen to and understand, and kind of go, okay, where can I apply this, and where can I help someone with this? And I've been doing that a lot lately. Like with my church, I've been like volunteering, and just kind of like I lead a ministry within the church, and I have like 6 to 10 guys that I have serve under who I am, and I'm like, okay, what can I do to make them feel more like welcomed, make them feel like I'm not just a higher over them. Like I don't want to make them feel like they have to look up to me as they have to follow me. I want to lead with them so they can lead with themselves. And those podcasts is something it kind of builds me, because like, and fundamentally is in your business, you can do the same thing, or like what you do as a manager, like it's huge, because
you're especially with like park cinemas or the movie theater job is such an intro job for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's like whatever they're going to do next, you have some sort of contribution to give them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to learn from you and do more after that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of kids that I've hired and they've moved on. It's always bigger and better things. And I'm like, dude, I had something to do with that. A little bit,
And it's
I want 10% off the top.
But I love it. I love seeing just like rising up leadership of like just future leaders, because it's something that's cool. Because like you'll see people come in and like they're just going through a hard time, and they're like, hey man, like what can we do to better you, and what can we do to better the mission of like what we need to do? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, let's work together. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want you to follow me. I want you to lead with me.
Yeah.
And I kind of see, like, with, business, it's like you can have people follow you, but they're just going to be there for stationary. They're not going to grow into something they want to be. They're going to just follow everything you go. And with those podcasts, they kind of dissect what it is to be a leader and to understand, to like grow other future leaders even better than you. And like with John Maxwell, he quotes, if someone can do it 80% what you can do, give it to them, because it's better than them to do it than you to do it, because they're going to maximize the efficiency over time. And
Right.
then you can just basically step away and do something more, and then that way they're going to do it better than you. And it's just a matter of perfection. Like, people will have just a huge mentality of like, I gotta do it my way or no one's way.
Yeah.
And it just becomes somewhere difficult.
I think we've all run into those kind of people.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm 100% like that.
Yeah.
That's why I listen to them.
You're trying to fix yourself.
And it's something that it definitely motivates me more to kind of help people, because like we have such big strongholds in our mindsets where we grew up around it and did things, and we're like, man, we gotta really like open our heart up more and like show our heart, our compassion, the vision of what we're trying to do and accomplish.
Yeah.
Especially for like business side, I can see it, because people will just come in and come out and check out, and they'll just be like, I'm getting paid, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
The definition of a job is just over broke, or
Yeah.
you pay some workers, they work hard enough to not get fired.
yeah,
You pay enough not to for them to quit.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's no relationship there, and I think breaking past that or whatever, making it more of a meaningful. I think it helps everybody.
oh yeah. That's something that I see. Like my wife, she was working at Lowe's, and I always like, another quote is like, it all rises and falls on leadership. So
Right.
anybody and everybody can work at any place and make great money, but if they're not happy at the end of the day, there's no point for them to even want to go back and put all their heart into it.
Right. Yeah.
But if like, the management and like, the leaders are doing really great job trying to like have everybody's vision and somebody's heart, and then like people are going to have an experience, and they're not going to be like, okay, the pay is just a bonus.
Yeah.
Me working here is something awesome. I love doing this.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that because my wife now works in like hospice in-home care, and she never knew she loved it that much until she started doing it, because it's something that's gratifying that she can have a heart to do it. Because when she was in retail,
Mm-hmm.
it's cutthroat, man. Like, they want nothing but the numbers.
Yeah.
They want
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys have seen a lot of videos, or like, I'm on TikTok way too much, and I'm seeing like a lot of Starbucks like employees trying to unionize.
Oh, really?
So and then you see videos of them, like the Starbucks manager or whatever, firing the union leader,
Mhm.
and then they all
gosh.
walk out with her or him or whatever,
Oh man.
and it's just getting worse and worse. And I'm like, it's gonna. I mean, for the longest time, I've had a lot of friends working at Starbucks, and they all don't have a lot of nice things to say about that work, but it pays. They have like health insurance and
Yeah, that was one of the driving factors for
Yeah.
Starbucks that people would
Yeah.
always tell me about. It's like, oh, we get health insurance.
yeah.
I know my wife worked at Starbucks for almost 10 years almost,
Oh dang.
and she loved it.
Probably before it started getting all crazy.
Yeah,
probably.
probably.
But no, she grew up doing it. She was about, I think, 15. Yeah, I think 15 or 16 when she first started to be able to work.
Yeah.
And she would do it during high school after school. Well, no, actually, I think it was after school. Man, I forget. She's gonna hate me if she hears this. But anyway,
Beep beep beep.
yeah, she would literally. But she would go to work, and she said it was something that was mindful, like it was cool, it was fast paced, like she had the experience. But the thing is how do you see the workplace? Like, do you see the negatives in it, or do you see the positives in it? Like, you can see easily in the negatives because you got people cranky, they want their coffee.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's the mindset I think any employee at Starbucks would go into, is like, okay, the first few hours, keep in mind the
It's gonna
people
suck.
this is their job. This is they're trying to you're helping them get to that point where like they're going to affect other people's
Yeah.
demeanor after
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Give them their coffee. Get their coffee, you know?
Yeah.
But after after like noon, I would assume like if anybody's going in there fucking pissed off or something, they have issues. They have a different kind of
Yeah, and ironically, I'm listening to this book. It's called Atomic Habits, and they ironically say like you develop habits. Like, so let's say you drink a cup of coffee in the morning, but then you also check your emails. You're developing a habit after you drink a cup of coffee. You're gonna check your emails right afterwards. So people over time will go, oh, I need to get coffee when I go to work. Yeah. It's like that's their habit. That's what they do every single day in, day out, is that's their habit. And so like then people start to become like timid and irritated when that habit becomes a chore. Like when they start to get like, oh, I gotta get here earlier because people are gonna get there earlier. And then they try to get there earlier because now people are getting there early, and then like that whole rabbit hole just becomes a habit where you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then you start to become like like I say,
so you wake up early.
Oh yeah, early
for since you can probably remember now.
Yeah.
So
I never can sleep in.
Did you have to start with coffee, or did you just kind of make sure you didn't get hooked on that?
I've never drinking coffee, damn. I've accidentally like drank a sip of it from my mom's coffee cup one time because I thought it was water or like chocolate milk or something because it was like straight like brown.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I'll drink it. I'm like, oh, this is horrible.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
It's definitely an acquired taste.
I mean, ironically, I might want to drink it when I get older. I love the smell of it. It's a great smell.
I think if you drink it like to find out like different like flavors and roasts and stuff like that as like an educational purpose thing, I'm actually interested in that one day too. I still drink. For some reason I have to have my caffeine because I just got into the habit of that. Yeah. Not as much as I used to though. Remember there's one time I was drinking a lot of coffee and then Starbucks came out with it like a Java chip or I think it was called.
Okay.
Right. And
I would get it every single day.
Yeah, I would get it. Yeah, it was kind of like Oreo shake from Jack in the Box. I was like, oh, cool. You know, a little bit more, like definitely on the sweeter side for sure. And then one day I just felt extra tired, so I went in the morning and I'm like, can I get a Java chip? Can I get an extra shot?
Give me an extra shot. Oh, my heart to pop out of my chest.
She goes,
can't do that.
Java chip doesn't come with coffee.
Like what?
I've been on a sugar high every fucking morning. And that's when I stopped drinking the Java chip. I was like, no, hell no.
Yeah, that's nothing but.
I went to Starbucks. Like in my head, I'm like, I'm going to Starbucks for coffee, and they have something called Java chip. I figured it would have fucking coffee in it.
So on that moment, you should have realized at that moment it was like a placebo effect.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking you had coffee, you had caffeine, but it ended up being sugar. And your body was craving some kind of an endorphin of some assortment, and I get really fascinated by the body and stuff like that. So it's something like that you have to kind of like look and go, wait a minute.
If you're really trying to, so what was it called? I was a smoker. I used to smoke like at least one cigarette a day, not a pack.
How dare you?
I know, right?
I know.
I used to be a smoker. And there's been times before that I tried to quit and stuff like that, but it wasn't until it wasn't until I started dating my wife now. Yeah. Back then, she goes, "Do you smoke?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "I won't." Okay, how about this? If you smoked, I'm not gonna kiss you. I'm like, all right. So I remember going to Vegas in December with my aunt and my grandma, whatever, and like I was walking down the strip with other friends, and I was like, I took my last puff or whatever, and I just threw the whole pack away. Whatever. Yeah. And I haven't smoked since.
Oh wow!
Right, since 2018 December or whatever. But who's counting?
This is 2018. The third day, 26 hours and 46 minutes.
On the 30th second,
35 second, 36 second, 37 second. But it was funny though, because like I know for sure I can quit something like cold turkey, and like it's just what's driving force behind it. That's going to be the question.
Well, it was kind of like your weight loss challenge that you had for yourself.
Yeah. It was very, very specific. I wanted, and that was 2018 as well. So there was like a lot of big things. So I actually smoked while I was losing all the weight, which was very interesting.
Terrible.
But
lungs are probably killing you. Like
I felt fine.
Yeah.
It never really bothered me. I didn't smoke enough, I think, for me to be like that bad, because I know people who do. Like I can't go without a pack a day.
How many years did you go smoking?
Since I was 18.
Since you were 18.
But it was I think it was the worst I've ever smoked was if it was like a party or something. It was like one shared a pack with a
That was
friend or
like
something, right?
everybody.
Yeah, it was everybody. But I know if I wasn't with anybody, like if it was, I didn't have any other triggers, like going out drinking and stuff like that. It would usually be like if I had a long day, I would have like a smoke outside, and that's it. And that's it. And I would call at night, take a shower, go to bed, whatever.
So it was those triggers are what would make you spike.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But officially quitting was like very like hard to do.
Yeah,
for sure. When I was younger,
did you fill it with a different habit? Or did you just keep that same?
It was origami, guys.
It was origami, man.
Yeah, I just play some charades a lot,
Yeah, so when I was doing the whole weight loss challenge, I think the heaviest was like 348 or something like that I was. And I look at those pictures and I'm like, fuck. Like, how was I walking around?
Big boy.
And then when I lost all the weight, I look at those pictures when I was like 277 was like the lowest I got with that time frame.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, 277 looks really fucking good, you know?
Yeah.
So now in my head, I'm like, I gotta get back to 277 at least. But I don't think God, it's scary to think like, oh my God, I was almost, if I look at I looked at the first video we didn't post it. We did an audio of it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But I remember, I don't know if it was the angle or something, but I just connected it to me looking the same as when I was at 348. Like it looks like,
oh really,
like face all blown up and everything.
Man.
And I'm like, sweet Jesus, I do not want to go there. And you know, so far I've kept most of it off, but like now I'm just like, fuck, I just gotta, you know, working, married, kid. It gets tough to like make time for yourself without feeling like guilty. You know, I think we've talked about it.
We've talked about
and
yeah.
It's just one of those things where like, all right, now what time of the day am I going to dedicate this?
Yeah.
And it's going to have to be in the morning for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be
the hardest
in the morning.
part is in the morning.
But
waking up at like 3 in the morning.
But it, you know, yeah, waking up in the morning and then going to sleep early enough to be able to wake up in the morning without feeling like you're destroyed or whatever.
Yeah, it's commitment.
Yeah, and I think at just some point I'm just going to have to call it and be like, 10 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, I'm going to bed, you know? It just sucks because like I'm working all day and then I come home and I'm like I want to spend time with the kid and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And then you also have to.
Another way you can look at it, another way that I've done it is you eventually say, well, something's gonna give eventually. Like
my heart.
Well, no, not your heart. I mean, it's not
my liver.
If you're having, if you're having medical problems, then that's gonna
it's a
give.
Story, yeah.
Yeah, but
your
kids, your kid's only gonna get older.
And
then eventually they're gonna not be around or go to school.
Right.
So then that's when you can fill in that gap with something else.
Yeah.
So either you can, you can go with I just need to wake up earlier or go. But if that's not happening immediately, just know that there is another thing.
I try
coming.
not to beat myself up.
That's the whole point.
That's where I start going down. Like,
you
go downhill. Exactly.
You give yourself
I start judging myself. That's where it gets tough because like there's times where like I wake up and I'm like, fuck, like I'm on a fasted state and I'm like, fuck, I feel great.
Yeah.
And I do, for the most part, I do intermittent fasting, so I don't have breakfast at all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what's helped me kept off the weight because that's like a whole another 600 to 1,000 calories meal right there. So I'm not taking that in.
Yeah.
And I don't eat until like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock,
and
stuff like that. So
I'd be dead by then.
No, I feel way more better than when I eat breakfast now. If I eat breakfast and then go on with my day, I feel very like sluggish and stuff like that. So it helps when I stick to that, and then in the evening is
just gorge.
Yeah, just have whatever she made.
All of it.
And
you open the fridge and go, oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
What
like,
can I eat?
Yeah. You ever see the movie Grandma's Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he like gets home late and it's like, oh fuck, lasagna.
He's all warming it up.
He's all warming it up. I was like, fuck yes, I love my roommate to go shopping or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I just recently watched it again. He just burns his fucking hands. It's like, oh, it's like, dude, what happened to your hands? He goes like, my roommates.
My roommates, man. It was a long night.
And then they show up at his work.
I still never forget I should have worn a condom.
Oh my god, yeah, because she like tells him his her story of how many guys she's been.
Oh, it was like 90 something like that.
No, she's like 2,000 or something. It was like
oh,
in the
yeah,
thousands.
Yeah. Should have worn a condom.
That would be funny.
I thought it was when I watched it as a kid. It came out when we were kids, by the way.
Yeah,
When
ironically.
when I watched it as a kid, I was thinking it was like condoms, like not get her pregnant. That went through my mind, and then I watched it again, innocent. And I was just like, STDs.
Yeah. Oh, those bad things that you probably shouldn't take.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Abstinence.
God, I remember that.
Yeah, that was like DARE program. Remember that?
DARE, sex ed.
Oh, yeah.
Those were the good old days.
I can't believe DARE program died. Like it just like dissolved.
Well, I thought it was great.
It did great.
Yeah,
you got a cool shirt out of it.
Until you see those people smoking with a DARE shirt on.
Yeah, it's like ironic. You're like, wait a minute. You're like, wait a minute. This does not work.
That's a cool shirt. I like the material.
The material's really good. I like it.
It's my lounging shirt.
It's really comfortable.
You know, it's funny.
I enjoy it.
I went on a Spartan race in 2016, a Spartan sprint.
Yeah.
And the shirt they gave us after we were done, it felt so good. Like that's my go-to shirt a lot of times when I'm like for pajamas.
Okay.
And I did another one in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like very like stretchy, like not the same, like
elastic,
very, very elastic. And I'm like, gosh. And I'm thinking about doing another one very soon, probably in the next year.
Like you better do the shirts better.
That's the one thing I'm trying to keep in mind. Is like, this shirts
even,
better be a good quality again. Like this is fucked up. Like you guys,
not even looking forward to the straight.
No.
Hell that you have to go through.
No.
Just the shirt.
Just the shirt.
As long as I get a shirt out of it.
It's like, hey, I want the T-shirt. Hey, I don't know about the T-shirt this year, guys.
I feel like that's such a weird mentality when it comes to like doing things. Like we got free stuff. Like
yeah,
it's first world problems right there. Just first world problems. I mean, just imagine they're like, "How was the race?" Oh no, it's fine, but the shirt though. Count.
It's something about free stuff that people kind of forget everything else.
Yeah,
it's kind of hilarious. Like I know, like with our church, we'll offer free coffee. And people are like, "Is the coffee free?" And I go, "Yeah, the coffee's free. Go ahead." Like, "Oh, thank you so much." Like they're like so taken back from it. I'm like, "It's just coffee. Like it ain't nothing like amazing. Like we can get better coffee, but like it's just something that's simple about just having something for free. Or like when you go to the fair, you go to like get like free stickers and stuff like
from the cops.
It's like you get like this
Highway patrol.
You get like this endorphin. You're like, "Yeah, this is awesome. Like I get free stuff. It's like I'm stealing stuff, but I'm not."
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a little high.
Some people just appreciate things a little more.
Yeah,
You know, even if it's just a free coffee, it's like, well,
yeah, it's like it's nice. It's kind of simple.
Yeah. Any shout outs you want to give out to people, the church, any people you want? Do you want to promote your business? Like, hey, I'm thinking of expanding. Let me know. How do people get in contact? Yeah.
They can contact me through my phone number. It's 805-835-8541. We got our Facebook. We got Yelp, Nextdoor app. I mean, all the social medias. But yeah, that's pretty much. We're always looking for more work and always more people to give our business to. You know, just trying to see what they want. So something I like to do.
Perfect.
So
we'll send everybody a link. Put it on our description.
Yeah, for our 27 something
31
subscribers,
31 YouTube subscribers.
Humble beginnings.
I know, seriously.
Yeah, I was actually hoping to like do a help us reach the 50 kind of thing, just because it would be fun.
Hey, everybody here, just tell somebody about this podcast. Let's get it growing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's let it explode.
And I mean, I would be happy with 50.
Let's be 3 dads in a pod, and I'm a father. Let's do that now.
If you guys
two dads and that one guy,
two dads and that one guy, two dads and the guy who cuts grass. It's pretty. I started listening. I started watching Only Murders in the.
Oh, I love that series.
I love that show.
And I connected right away with it when they started talking about podcasts.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Oh, it's gonna be a good show though. Yeah, but it was funny. It's like, oh my god, like the possibilities now for how many podcasts genres are there.
Oh yeah.
Like if you got a whole bunch of like Dr. Seuss.
Oh yeah.
You can make your own audiobooks.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Oh yeah. You can.
I mean, you can
read books.
You had the idea like long before it really started like coming out. I mean,
like just in general, like the podcast.
In general. I mean,
I technically started mine in 202019 before pandemic.
Right.
And then it became a popular thing to do.
Yeah, but
we
collabed now.
Trendy.
So. Yeah.
It was trendy.
If you ever want to start a podcast about what types of grass there are out there, not the bad grass. I'm talking about like
The good grass guys.
Yeah.
The good ones.
You ever, what was the movie called? Starsky and Hutch.
Oh,
Where they
yeah.
had Snoop Dogg, and he's like,
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's like looking at this kind of
"We need a
grass.
9 iron." You dig?
Oh yeah. Remember that? And his van that he had. I remember that van. I was like, wait, that's an awesome van. I like that van.
Speaking of Snoop Dogg, I always like his collabs with Martha Stewart.
Oh
Those
yeah.
are just funny. Like
Oh,
the big. I mean, you look at the big liners.
Yeah.
And it's like and other things. It's like Snoop Dogg. Like,
Or like the Comedy Central. They'll have like the roast.
yeah.
Oh,
Like she'll
yeah.
be on there with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Everybody's making fun of her, but that's good press for her.
Oh no, it's
Oh,
great.
yeah,
No,
she
and
loves it.
I think my favorite commercial was when Snoop Dogg walks into the kitchen and it's smoke everywhere. And like he goes, damn, Martha, I didn't know you were all into this. She's like, oh, making a cooking a turkey, of course, but it looked like just all smoking shit.
I remember one where they had like salt. They had white salt and black salt. And she goes, oh, what salt were you using? She's like, we're going to use the white salt. Like, oh, really? The white salt? I think it's the white salt. She's like, dang, you got black and white salt? Dang, that's awesome.
The marketing for those two are again, I mean, polar opposites, and that's
Oh,
the whole
it's
point, but
perfect.
just
Yeah.
fucking perfect.
You're talking
Yeah.
about she's hood. She was in prison.
She was in prison.
Well, yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
they
she's-
connect.
Yeah, they connect, but
They got
if you-
similarities.
If they're doing the whole cooking versus rapper,
No.
yeah, it's hilarious.
avid smoker, it's
I'm excited with what
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I appreciate being on here. It's hilarious.
No, I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
you coming on, man. I know it's been a while, but we'll have to get together aside from podcasts for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Behind the mask.
Behind the mask. Yeah.
the
So
mask.
I know I wear a mask in public for my reasons, but
I never. I remember when masks started, and I was like, "This is not something that I can get comfortable doing." 'Cause
yeah, it's definitely it's like it's one of those things where like God, you ever go to the beach and like walk around without shoes or something, and like
Yeah.
it feels weird but then after like an hour you're just
feel
like
you're comfortable.
you're comfortable, you're
You're in
running
your
on
element.
rocks and you're in your limit. You're like, oh, back to my like.
I only thought it was cool, the mask thing, because it made everybody look like ninjas.
Yeah,
That was I was silver lining
I was
for me.
expecting
like,
people to do like Mortal Kombat, like
well, that's my
you
whole
know,
thing. I was
yeah.
like, well, I can finally look like
when
Sub-Zero.
is
so.
somebody coming and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they
I
came
was
out
like-
and then
I-
somebody did an alien
Oh yeah.
with the scorpion or whatever the scorpion type of looking
Okay.
thing, and
Yeah,
I was like, I want one of those, but it was like leather or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
no
Oh.
fucking hot.
Oh, that would be rough.
I'm
I
like,
know.
Hey, I can finally look like Sub-Zero and be normal.
My uncle would get the masks that looked like someone had it under their chin.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, yeah, those are
And
funny.
he
Sir,
would
you
like,
gotta put your mask. It is
It
on.
is
it
on.
is on.
But that's I
awesome.
feel like when you do that, like you're asking for people.
Yeah.
You want people to react.
You're just wanting
Yeah.
to
You
stir
are,
up
but
stuff.
I mean, yeah. If you get annoyed by it, then yeah, you should be wearing it.
yeah.
You already know what you got yourself into.
yeah, you're just
but
like,
But
Anyway.
they are pretty funny because they like you get a lot of stares. Like I saw
Yeah.
this dude he goes on airplanes with that specific mask only,
she's just
and everybody's
asking
like
for trouble.
looking at him, and I'm like, but it's good TikTok content for him. So that's probably the only reason he's wearing
I mean,
that kind of.
TikTok.
Today's social media, anything that's gonna get you.
It's
Yeah.
TikTok, man. It's growing.
But anyway,
Oh yeah.
don't forget-
Go follow American Yards on social media, right? American
Yeah.
Yards,
American Yards.
AKA.
Those
and
guys,
also when you're looking us up on YouTube, it's Two Dads in a Pod all together. Because some people have been telling me they've been having a hard time looking it up because they space it out.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Really?
I've looked it up one time and it autocorrected two Pete's in a pod.
I mean, that's kind of
That
was kind of the
the connection.
I
we're
know, but
making.
it
Oh, yeah.
ironically pulled up a
To the-
whole bunch of videos of two Pete's in a pod.
Oh, real
Oh,
quick. A
That's
while
right.
ago when Instagram was new and hashtags weren't as monitored,
Oh, jeez.
oh
I remember having breakfast with a few of my friends at Lemoore, and I did hashtag breakfast, right? I'm like, you know what? Out of curiosity, I went down a rabbit hole.
Clicked on
Who
it.
else used the hashtag? And there was a lot of women's parts
Oh.
showing on the pictures
Oh,
for
lovely.
breakfast. and
Oh,
I
hashtag
text my group.
breakfast.
I text my groups like, "Don't look up hashtag breakfast," and you just hear, "Oh fuck, why'd you tell me that?" This is like back when Instagram was like
I remember
brand new.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Anyway,
that.
it's always
Anyway.
fun to see what hashtags are being used and how
Oh,
people are
yeah.
getting away
You
with
don't
shit.
ever click them. Don't do that.
I like to click them.
I clicked on a couple one. I'm like, man, there's some weird stuff that people post on there. like just like hashtag this, and I'm like, what? Why would you put that as a hashtag
You
on
should
there?
use hashtag types of grass and see on your
Oh,
posts.
that would be
I
a
don't know if he
horrible
really
rabbit
wants
hole.
to be in there. Yeah.
My wife would be like, "Why are you looking up this stuff?" And I'm
This
like,
landscaper is pretty cool, huh?
"Shit, where'd
Remember
it go?"
incognito mode.
Incognito mode.
All right, man.
All right.
Done skis.
Boom, boom.